All right, welcome in. It's the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, unveiling our hip-hop edition of our new intro. Seems like that amused you a little bit, Israel. That was produced by a student named Kyrie Bowden at my school.
That is pretty sweet intro there, man.
His rapper producer name is Rose, so if you're wondering that.
Hey, shout out to Rose for that one, man. I was sitting here vibing to it. I was like, dang, we are legit now. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you listen to all the other podcasts, they got a really cool beat that goes along to it. So, hey, man, shout out to that student because, he just put us in the game.
That's right. The name of that track is called Maybach. So,
sticking with the Rose theme, I hear you.
Yeah. So, shout out to him. He graduates this year, so I got to get all the beats I can out of him. So we're gonna have a rock version too as well. We're gonna have 3 different versions, just to keep it changed up. But like I said, we are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. Well, Super Bowl's over, but that doesn't mean you can't bet on football. You got XFL entering week 2, so that's a little bit fun. You got the NBA about to get off their All-Star break hiatus. You got NHL, MLB getting ready to start up as well. Lots of things to bet on. College basketball, March Madness is right around the corner. Conference tournaments right around the corner. So lots of things to bet on here. You can always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. So head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you just use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline's where the game starts. So, dude, we got a fairly action-packed show, man. I was looking through the things and I was like, okay, well, there's not a ton to talk about, but then then I keep seeing all these character issues arise for one Jalen Carter. So I keep seeing these mock drafts having him go number 1. So how could somebody there was a horrifying character issue story that I saw today. All right, on Jalen Carter. This is not good, right? He may not get drafted based on this story. So get this. He paid for a walk-on's meals all season long with his own money.
Yeah. I tell you, man, that's just a sign of a guy you can't trust. He's a me guy.
Can't do it. Mm-hmm.
Very selfish guy that just doesn't care about his teammates, it sounds like. And if I was an NFL organization, I wouldn't want a guy like that on my football team.
No, not at all.
Especially with, all these analysts coming out with all these character issues. And this proves, that they are lying. That's what it proves. It proves that these people do not know what they are talking about. What person, good-hearted person who has character issues will pay for a walk-on's meal for a very long time, apparently, because, the story literally just came out. So you're telling me a kid who has character issues is out here out of the kindness of his heart paying for meals?
With his own scholarship and NIL money? Yeah, it's just something I think that was trying to get clicks and headlines and things. Todd McShay was way off. I think there's plenty of people attacking him on that. So, and also Jordan Yates, former Georgia Tech quarterback, came out on TikTok and was talking about what it was like to play against the 2021 Georgia defense, which was statistically the best defense ever. But he mentioned Jalen Carter's savage trash talking by saying, quote, "Y'all aren't prepared. Y'all just weren't prepared for this game."
Yeah.
That's the story he told. Like, he could have said anything, and he probably does say more stuff, but like, for him to point that out particularly, come on.
Yeah. Let's be real. I played against a guy by the name of Brandon Spikes,
oh boy,
who said some of the most savage things I've ever heard on a football field said to another human being. Okay. Now, when he was being drafted, I never heard any character issues, which obviously we know the whole story that came out, during that time, but that's neither here nor there. But you have a guy who hasn't been in trouble, who the coaches have raved on, who other teams have raved on. And now you're saying he has character issues. I wonder where these character issues stem from or where they've come from, because I have heard nothing about Jalen Carter. I hadn't heard anything about any of our team up until recently, which, by the way, the spring semester is a very, very dangerous time.
Well, there was an arrest that we'll get to here in just a little bit, but
for Jalen, I mean, I've never heard of him getting in trouble. Never heard coaches talk bad about him. Never heard teammates talk bad about him. Not even a TikTok or nothing has been made about Jalen Carter, but all of a sudden he has character issues. I don't understand it. I mean, man, like you said, maybe it's clickbait, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is what I don't understand. If the kid has done nothing, then why mess with his reputation? I mean, if they've got
to find some way to poke holes in it, I guess, because you're not going to get ratings just raving about him the whole time. So you got to find something to poke at, I guess. That's my only theory. But just looking at Jalen Carter, most of the talk lately, thankfully, has been whether or not he'll go number one or not. Now, because of the quarterback situation and because of what the Bears could possibly get for that number one pick overall, and people desperately wanting to jump ahead of the Texans to draft Bryce Young, I do not think Jalen Carter will go number one. I think him and Will Anderson are like a 1A, 1B type. Both are one overall type talents. I think Jalen Carter will end up in Chicago, but if Chicago ends up trading back with the Colts, I think you'll see Jalen Carter go number 4, if not number 3 to the Cardinals, because I think the Cardinals are looking for something on defense. But I think you're going to see Will Anderson, Jalen Carter go 3 and 4 in some order to the Cardinals and to the Bears, because I think if Jalen Carter goes 4, I think the Bears are picking him there. I don't know that the Bears are going to pick him number 1 overall. I think there's a scenario where the Bears could trade Justin Fields and stay in that spot and draft Bryce Young. Who knows? But what Jalen Carter is, what I love about him and why he's in this spot, because defensive tackles rarely are top 5 worthy, and the ones that do go top 5 have all the combine stats and strength numbers, but can't play a lick. There's very few of them. But Jalen Carter, to me, has a unique ability to rush the passer effectively. He's great against the run. He moves extremely well, and he's highly football intelligent. So, and maybe even highly intelligent in general. I don't know what his GPA is at Georgia. I'll be honest on that one. But to me, a lot of things when you watch his tape, I mean, just the way he gets off the ball, the way he uses his hands, the way he can bench press offensive linemen. I mean, Israel, you saw that play in the Tennessee game where he literally threw the center into Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it should have been a safety.
It definitely was a safety. I was there. I saw it personally. It was definitely a safety. For a guy like Jalen Carter, I mean, you got to understand, we were talking about Jordan Davis last year. He's being a top pick and things like that. But, you look at the versatility of Jalen Carter. I mean, it is way bigger than Jordan's was. Jordan was just a force in the middle. I mean, you can put Jalen Carter at – you can use him anywhere. You can put him at end. You can put him at 3 technique. You can put him as a shade, as a nose. He can play, different places within that interior.
I mean, he's a 3-down lineman.
Absolutely. And he is a definitely, just animal in the middle, of that defensive line. And he's great at going east to west. He was chasing down screens this year, rushing the passer, just the different intangibles, that you want a defensive lineman. He is, I mean, we're going to miss him. He kind of stepped into that role this year up front. Jordan was gone. Nolan got hurt. So he was like, hey, man, let's put this thing on my back and let's roll with it. There were times, where he was a little bit gassed. And you could really tell, when he was gassed. But as the season went on, you could tell he really worked on getting in shape, because if from the naked eye see it, of course he knows the NFL scouts and everybody else sees it too. So I think he really honed in on that. And I mean, he played balls to the wall for the rest of the season. So you can't knock a guy like that. I mean, he's definitely a first rounder. Definitely a top 5 guy. It depends on how everything falls with all the trades and everything, of course. But in my opinion, he's definitely, a top 5 guy.
And will be, because I think after Stroud after Stroud and Young, I think your quarterbacks aren't going to be selected till the double digits, or the 10 through 20 picks. I think will be the Will Levises and the Anthony Richardsons of the world. But yeah, I mean, you're exactly right, man. I mean, the versatility that he brings to a defense, it doesn't matter what scheme you have. I mean, if you're a 3-front scheme, if you're an even team or an odd team, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's a 3 technique through and through. On first and second down. On third down, you can put him out wide. You can put him at the nose and have 2 small rush-ins if you want to go a more dime look. I mean, there's different ways that you can use him within your defense, and you're going to get the similar results because he has the strength of a zero or shade nose guard, and he has some of the quickness of like a 4-eye, even 5 technique on run downs. Of a defensive end. So like being able to move him around is invaluable. And what if the Eagles draft him? That'd be scary.
I can see him definitely being the next, Aaron Donald type guy.
I hope he's not Sam Darnold. That would be terrible.
Aaron Donald. And I mean, just his intangible. I mean, his ceiling is astronomical. I mean, he can pretty much do whatever he wants to. I mean, the fact that he just picked up the center and put him in the hooker's lap, that's not a small guy he was going up against either, So, I mean, just things that he's able to do, the way he uses his hands, and that just goes to show, our defensive line coach, I mean, he does a phenomenal job, developing those guys. Bear Alexander's going to have to be the guy this year. Stackhouse did a phenomenal job for us too, right along next to Jalen Carter. So, I mean, our depth at defensive line is absolutely, phenomenal. And the fact that,
and you're getting Jamal Jarrett in too.
Yeah, and it's really starting to get noticed now because, I mean, our guys are getting drafted, not just in like the 4th or 5th round. Now, these guys are going, first through 3rd round, first, second day guys, So if I'm a defensive lineman, and I think I'm the man, I'm going to Georgia because, I mean, we have a top-notch program, number one. We're a 2-time national champion. And we have the best defensive line coach in America right now.
Trey Scott, recruiter of the year, man.
I mean,
if you don't believe it, look at last year's draft. His two starting interior defensive linemen went in the first round, Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. Yeah. But on your Bear Alexander point, what's that?
He said one just played for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, one just played for Super Bowl.
Started into the starting lineup toward the end of the season. So, I mean, there's proofs in the pudding, man.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Sorry to cut you off there.
Players.
Kirby can't do it, no. And Jay,
some of y'all said that. Some of you guys out there said that. Kirby never just develops these players or anything like that. All right.
Okay. Well, yeah, a lot of people in the NFL right now. A lot of people making a difference in the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, on your Bear Alexander point, I mean, he has a lot of the similar physical talents that Jalen Carter has. Fast off the ball, violent hands, good push. Got to work on his stamina, but I think his football IQ's got to develop more as he grows into that role. I mean, he was just a freshman last year. So, I mean, the expectations are, the ceiling is real high. Yeah, it was just a freshman. The expectations are high, but I think if he develops the mental side of it, I think his physical strengths and his physical skills will continue to develop under Trey Scott, and his strength and speed and footwork will continue to develop under Coach Sinclair and his staff. But it's just the mental aspect of it that he's got to polish. So I'm excited. I know whatever team drafts Jalen Carter is going to be excited, whether it's the Cardinals or the Bears or some crazy trade happens in the Steelers jump up there the 3rd spot and get Jalen Carter, or the Cowboys.
We need a guy with Parsons, with Michael Parsons. We can match another guy.
Need an interior guy, yeah.
That'd be a nightmare for a lot of teams.
Be a nice little pairing. Well, like I said, we are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. Follow us on Twitter at Coach Burton 36, at TroopStar 28.
Yeah. I'm still pissing people off left and right too, so you just never know what you're going to get, these days. I've been on a roll in the last couple of tweets.
Yes, you have been. You've been straight breathing fire. So, but yeah, follow us there. You can follow the show at all of that. Get us wherever you get your podcasts. Our YouTube channel's blowing up. Make sure you subscribe. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can start bringing you more content. And we can start if we start making a lot of money, we can start getting some merch. So we can start giving back to you all the viewers and the people that are faithful.
Got to get me a studio. If you look at Corey's background and you look at mine, see, mine's just this plain manila type wall here. Look at Corey's background. He's got his own room. He's got his Georgia helmet and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really
signed by Coach Rick. Actually,
it's actually up to you guys, so I can get my own room. Having kids and a wife. It's just For the husband, those areas are few and far between.
You just got to find that one desk area.
The playroom is going to be that room, and then next thing you know, there's a castle right here to my right, and a kitchen that took me 15 years to put together. I'm just trying to make it, man. Trying to make it.
Well, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, that'll certainly help Israel's cause here on getting a good backdrop. So
every subscription counts.
Exactly, and on the same token of fixing facilities, let's look at basketball. So we looked at like how they could fix their roster and how they could fix kind of the way they play and just kind of build around their strengths within the team. But like part of recruiting nowadays is facilities. Now we have a pretty nice practice facility, I'll be honest, but the Stegosaurus is just that. It's the Stegosaurus. But like the environment plays a part. The building that you play in plays a part. But like, what are some things with Georgia basketball? Because I'll be honest, it's still not great right now. Mike White had a really tall order ahead of him, and and you see a difference, but the results just aren't there yet. Just need to continue that recruiting effort. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I wanted to get your take on it because I did it on my last solo edition. But like environment wise, like what needs to happen? Like how do you like you bring recruits in for visits? Now, like, what are the keys to saying, hey, Athens is the place where I really want to go?
Well, it's one of those things, I hate the word saying culture because I feel like it's overused. But the all-around culture of your team has to be great. The chemistry, who are you trying to win over? All right, when you're recruiting, who do you think you're trying? Not just the kid. Who else are you trying to win over? Mama and daddy or whoever that kid's guardian is. You're trying to win them over too, because they're going to be the real reason why that kid's an athlete. You can say that kid can pick whatever school he wants to go to, but the real reason is going to be because of do his parents feel safe with him being there. So it's just one of those things to where you got to make it sound good. You got to be that car salesman. You don't even need a car, but he's going to sell it to you anyway. You got to be that guy. And the facilities, within the Stag after the renovation, to the court and everything, it's there. We got it's 3 gyms under the bottom now. If I'm not mistaken, I know the girls have one and the boys have one on the side, kind of where the gymnastics where they practice at, if I'm not mistaken. So they've done that. I haven't seen the locker rooms yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get redone. Shout out to Josh Brooks in the track program too. Their new place is absolutely it's lights out.
It's ridiculous. They spared no expense in track and field.
So and tracks on the way up. They've always been good, but I think they're just now getting over that hump. So it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but I think Coach White's going in the right direction. Like I said earlier, I think we're going to have to recruit some big men. We're going to have to hit the portal. But when we hit the portal, it's going to have to be good character guys. because, you know, basketball is that sport where, and Corey, you know as well as I do, are the guys that walk on campus and think they're really, really cool. You know, they really don't say very much. You know, they kind of hang out to themselves. But, you know, one thing, you know, we used to go to Auburn, you know, and hang out with those guys all the time during the off season. Their basketball players were cool. I mean, they come out, they, you know, high five you, man. What's up? What's going on? You know, because the culture there was, I mean, they weren't really good then, but, you know, they always had a good time with one another. So, you know, it's just about getting to know the team, you know, having fun, but also remembering that we're here to win ball games. You know, let's have fun. You know, right now it's like, it's the sense of urgency is dire now with the basketball program, you know, for basketball. But once he kind of gets in there and gets his, you know, his philosophy and his mentality within the team going, I think it'll kind of calm down and you get to see the fun of basketball at Georgia.
Now, my question for you, I mean, to get that fun back, I think part of it is just packing out the Stag and getting people to come. Like, I don't think enough people show up. I don't think enough students show up. So, like, what are, like, because and to be real, the last 4 seasons, they haven't had much show up to. The Tom Crean era has been pitiful, and then the Mark Fox era wasn't great before that. But what, I mean, like, you're a struggling program, and I guess this is why Josh Brooks gets paid the big bucks, but you're a struggling program where the director of basketball operations there. How do you get people enticed to pack out the Stag and really just make Stegman Coliseum one of those places where a team's like, oh God, we got to go to the Stag tonight. Oh Jesus, this is not going to be good. Like right now, it's not like, right now it's just another arena. They're like, okay, well, we can play the Stag. It's no big deal. I mean, winning, it's what it is.
Winning cures all things. That's first and foremost. And I mean,
but we're not there yet. So how do you like?
It's one of those things where it's like, man, we got to win. We got to win now. You know, it's not like Cameron Indoor. It's not like when you go to, you know, Kentucky or even Auburn or Tennessee right now. You know, we're not there yet. You know, so you got to win. You know, you got to have convincing wins. But you also got to do a little bit more advertising because, I mean, even when we were on campus, we didn't even know there was a basketball game until we had to go to like study hall, and you couldn't walk through there because of the basketball game. You know, like we as students on campus, you know, didn't know there was a basketball game. You know, so
yeah, there's got to be more hype surrounding the program, and with social media, you can do that.
Yeah, you know, now it's getting better because of Twitter and all that stuff. Now, you know, a little bit more advertising, things like that. So I think you got to just advertise it early. You know, football season, you know, we got our spring game. I don't, you know, with basketball, same deal. You know, if you can have some way to not just camps, but, you know, have something where they have like a fall game or something, you know, baseball season does it. Baseball does it all the time. You know, they have fall ball during that time, during football season.
We have Midnight Madness. Like you have a chance for that. I think that's basketball's big event, is that Midnight Madness.
But we don't do, but do we do Midnight Madness?
We should. I don't think we do.
See, advertisement. See, nobody knows. Maybe we do, but I don't know that.
Shoot, at Hillwood, we called it Midnight Madness, we called it Topper Madness or something like that. But we did it right after our last home football game. We did, you know, hey, right after the game, your ticket's good. Come on into the gym. We got free pizza and basketball. We're going to have a 3-point shootout. We're going to have not really many people can dunk, but it's just basically watching the one kid that can dunk. But we're going to have a dunk contest, you know, stuff like that. Just like fun stuff, event for fans. Maybe make it after like a 3:30 game in the fall, where it's the first available, you know, it's got to coincide with the first available day of practice. Like I think it'd be legal to do it earlier than that, but you got to figure out when that time period is, and then do the Midnight Madness event. And I just think you need more pub. I think social media needs to hammer basketball more.
Yeah, like if you could do it the night before, you know, the first football home game, you know, so like, hey, everybody's gonna be in town anyway. All right, boom. We're going to have Midnight Madness tonight leading into the game. after that, or the next day, just something like that to kind of get everybody excited about basketball. Because there's nothing really exciting about basketball. I'm excited for basketball now, but for over the last 10 years or so. Let's see, it's 2000. Yeah, last 10 years, there's been nothing to be excited about.
Right. Exactly. It's
so you're going to have to create some excitement around men's basketball. The girls have always been exciting, so you're going to have to create excitement around the boys' side, and unfortunately, you're going to have to win ball games in order to do that. If you want quick results,
you got to stack some wins. Yeah, of course.
But if you want little results here and there, advertise. Make it student night, make it student athlete night. Invite. You can walk right across the street over there and get everybody at study hall. All the counselors, all the tutors.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in here. Just little things like that. And then word of mouth gets out like, hey, they did this. And, because like I said, I don't know when there's a basketball game.
Yeah.
Unless I look for it. But I know when Kentucky's playing. I know when Auburn's playing. I know when Tennessee's playing. I know when Vandy's playing. Those are just people in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
When South Carolina girls are playing. Hell, I know when our girls are playing. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those deals where
you don't know who and when and where. Like the other night, I turned on the TV and it's like, oh, George, Arkansas. Oh, shoot, we're playing. And we're getting shellacked on the road. We got to be a better road team. That's all.
Arkansas was upset with somebody. Somebody got cheated on, and they decided to take it out on us because that was bad.
Yeah, that was not good. But yeah, I just think also, I think rearranging the student section, maybe putting the students in the bowl side and not the flat side, maybe that might help too. Like, because the visitors bench is over there. Like, I think if we can I think we need to find the loudest possible spot for our student section.
Yeah.
So that they can make
like a camera headboards on the visitor side, but up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
they get all the bleachers, and then I think it goes just all the way.
Yeah.
And then I think the students, I think you see they end up lining the bleacher seats on both sides, because you can see on TV when they're jumping up and down. Like, we need some traditions like that. Not necessarily copy Duke and do the jumping up and down, but we need to be an annoying fan base when it comes to basketball. Like, we need to affect games. Like, if our fans can have fun and take pride, like when I was in high school, we did that for our basketball team. Like, we took pride in affecting the basketball games as the Flynn's Fanatics. We wore matching gold T-shirts and everything, man. We took pride in all that.
If you came to the Palace on a Friday night or a Saturday, it was going down. Our student section was right on the side of the court, man. They had to rip that thing off, especially, my senior year, all the years that I played basketball, but shit, our student section was crazy. We
were nuts, man. We were
crazy. Needs to go to the games. Everybody needs to go to the game. The same fan base that'll bark in your face at a football game, same fan base that needs to support basketball.
Yeah, that's the same energy you need. So, yeah, we were obnoxious, and teams hated playing against us because they knew that we were gonna ride every single player. We were gonna find something to just hammer down on you about. And one team in particular, we had nicknames for the entire starting five. We had this kid named his name was Michael Crane. He had a rather large head. He was a point guard. We called him Cranium. He was Cranium, right? Every time we touched the ball, Cranium, and then we pass it and we'd stop. Or don't you dare airball around us. Don't you dare airball. That was your night was over if you airballed against us. We would torment you until you made one.
I never really realized it because I stopped playing after my sophomore year and kind of concentrated on two sports, but I never realized how crazy they were until I actually sat down one day in the student section. I was like, these people have lost their minds. Now, granted, they might have been 3 sheets to the wind while they were there. But I'm telling you, they stood up during the girls' game and the boys' game, hollered the entire time. And, you know, kids are too cool to do that nowadays. But those were the days of, you know,
we had organized
college, you know, obviously they do it, but
like Duke has organized chants.
Yeah, it makes they have a person. I'm pretty sure that's like a band director that sits up there and tells them exactly. But hey, we're going to do number 5. Everybody do number 5. Everybody gets a sheet when you come in of all the chances they're going to do word for word.
I love that. Yeah, we had a cardboard cutout of Kevin Garnett that we took. You know, when Kevin Garnett was doing the milk ads. Got milk, you know, how that was in everybody's school. Well, we had Kevin Garnett in our lunchroom. We stole him. We put a T-shirt on him. Kevin Garnett was a Flynn's Finex. It was awesome. That'll do it. So, but I just think the fans, like, maybe the fans can take charge. Maybe there's a group of students that can take charge and just lead this thing. You know, like the student union, the Baptist student union that does the shoulder pads at football game. Like maybe like they can lead the charge in basketball and get everybody on board with, hey, let's organize a student section that's going to affect the game. Like maybe that's something.
Spike squad.
Yeah, the spike squad. Yeah, the dunk squad, or what could you call them? Something, I don't know. Figure it out. They're creative. So
what we got to figure out is making sure we got to make it to May. Let's make it to May and keep everybody out of trouble before May.
Make it to May. Make it to May with no arrest, and the 3-peat is on. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and I'm
actually,
sure
this with Dennis Johnson, I was like, dude, they got you on this one. Like there was,
that ain't.
You can't even say like, oh, they're targeted. No, bro, like you can't do that.
No, you can't. You can't run away. You can't speed away. Like you can't do that. No. Yeah, that's gonna suck for him. Whatever that punishment is.
And I bet that punishment is lovely. I bet he started today. Because what was it after Wednesday? No, talking Tuesday. Wednesday. Oh yeah, that punishment started this morning. Right now,
he'll probably just go, Coach, can you just go ahead and suspend me? I can't do this. Like he might opt for the suspension after, like it might get so sadistic.
Oh man,
he'll be doing wheelbarrows in Sanford Stadium.
Look, like I tell my kids all the time. I said I was a turd. Now I will never not say that I wasn't, because I was. I'll never forget one day I'm doing stadiums on the track field because late for morning run. I'm already on number 10. Coach T, you're late. You know, that was the first thing I told him, and I saw him walking up the track. So I mean, I was a turd. You know, I never turned it up the way that they do now, but my turn was just I didn't want to go to class. You know, I answer this question. Okay, if you take a test, you're really good on the test. At what point does it make sense to go to class the very next day? Don't make sense to me, and it just never made sense to me to do that.
Yeah, I've skipped my share of classes too. I mean, it's not. I mean, you're telling me a college kid is not tempted to skip class?
You know, especially in the spring semester too. So
spring semester, you just took a test. You probably just aced. Hopefully, you just aced the test. I don't know. Did you ace that?
I did really well on my tests, but there's this thing called, you know, the clicker. You know, that I really didn't do well on because I wasn't there.
Yeah. You were over against the clicker.
That's how I got in trouble.
Character issues. Character issues.
Yeah, if my character issue is not going to class, I mean, it is what it is.
And you emerged from an alley too, didn't you?
No, I was not.
You never emerged from an alley? You weren't that guy?
Mm.
I figured you had some scooter violation. You had some scooter violation, didn't you? Like you didn't get out of there without one.
I didn't have a scooter incident.
Damn, you're lucky. You just didn't have a scooter.
No, I had a scooter.
Wow. I guess you're living large, huh?
Yeah. If I told you all the fun things I did on my scooter, we'd be here for a long time. It never Never involved the jail cell or any handcuffs, though. I'll tell you that.
All right. Oh, that's good. That's good. Scooter Mafia.
Yeah,
Scooter
guys,
Mafia.
Please have trouble. They're going to be looking. They're going to be searching. I know firsthand how it goes. Seen a lot of my teammates, get hemmed up because of it. But the main thing is just make smart decisions. Don't be dragging racing down the street.
This ain't Fast and Furious.
With the days of Uber, there's absolutely no way anybody should be getting a DUI at any point. So everybody just be safe. Need everybody. And trust me, whatever punishment Kirby's come up with, you don't want to do it. So that's wise words from an old alum who's seen it all happen.
Yep. And that's where we'll end this thing. That's a good ending point right there. Stay out of trouble, make good decisions, and you don't want to be a part of Kirby's morning runs. I say that lightly. So this weekend, Georgia has a baseball series against Princeton. We'll talk more about that probably next week. We'll probably we'll update you on how baseball's doing. Want to let baseball kind of get into their groove before we really start kind of breaking them down, because baseball is one of those sports where you can't go game by game because it's just not how the sport operates. So we're going to let the season kind of unfold a little bit and kind of see where we are, kind of see how our starters respond. Jaden Woods had a not so good start in the first one. Got shelled.
I will say he
had command issues. Yeah, he's starting Friday against Princeton. He's starting today against Princeton. So this weekend, Princeton series. We'll see how that unfolds, and we'll talk about that plus more on our next edition of the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast. So with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make plenty of good bets on betonline.ag. You can bet on XFL. You can bet on college hoops. You can maybe even bet on college baseball. I don't know why you would, but you probably could. So we are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag. For Israel, I'm Corey. We hope you have a great weekend. Until then, go Dogs.